He's back to pass. Pressure coming. He's going to get hit in the end zone. That's going to be a safety.
It's now time for Gridiron, State of the Union.
Another touchdown, Porter Ridge, and they've gone up. The score is 23-17.
Presented by DMR Reconstruction, North Carolina's leader in quality insurance restoration services, with crews on standby 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. DMR Reconstruction has your restoration needs covered. Give them a call at 704-327-4028.
He's going to hand it off to Byram. Byram on the right-hand side. He's going to be into the end zone. Touchdown, Monroe.
Gridiron State of the Union is your insider's look each week into Union County High School football.
Malcolm fires one off, and it's into the end zone. Touchdown, Piedmont.
Now we head into the DMR Reconstruction Studio, and your host, Brian Stevenson.
Hello everyone and welcome to Gridiron State of the Union. I'm your host, Brian Stevenson. Just a few games from last week to catch up on. Weddington nipped Country Day on a last-second field goal. Piedmont shut out West Stanley. Porter Ridge fell to Independence. Marvin Ridge fell to Victory Christian. And Union Academy lost to West Montgomery. This week, though, a full slate of action as teams start their conference season. So let's catch up on all the games happening this week with our trip around Union. And we start with Sideline Mike and our WIXC Game of the Week.
Sun Valley at Piedmont is our WIXC Game of the Week. Sun Valley is coming off a bye week. 2 weeks ago, the Spartans beat Monroe in a shootout 48-47. The team has been road warriors this season. Their record is 4-2, with all 4 wins coming on the road. They will put that road dominance to the test when they travel to Unionville to face Piedmont on Friday night. The Panthers are coming off a 48-0 win over West Stanley last week. It's the first time the Piedmont defense has pitched a shutout since 2010. The Panthers scored on 5 of their first 6 possessions. It's the conference opener for both teams, and you can hear it all when you tune into the Mighty 1190 as our WIXC Game of the Week. Kickoff is at 7:30 Friday night, and now to Reed Alexander with Game 2 of our doubleheader.
Game 2 of our doubleheader features 2 teams moving in opposite directions. The Cuthbertson Cavaliers travel to Marvin Ridge. The Cavaliers are coming off the bye week, but they have won 2 straight. They are 3-3 and have high hopes to make this season their best in school history. The Cavaliers have never had a winning record. A win Friday would get them 1 step closer. Their opponent, Marvin Ridge, is searching for their first win of the season. Coach Brad Hoover and the Mavericks have been close in a couple of games, but last week they fell to Victory Christian 49-17. Even though they have had a rough start, there is still hope for the Mavericks. Find a way to win in conference and they could still make the playoffs. But they will have to turn it around quick. Tune in to WIXC as Game 2 of our doubleheader on Friday night. Now let's send it to Chris Rogers.
The Forest Hills Yellow Jackets will try to get back on track Friday when they take on Mount Pleasant. The Yellow Jackets have lost 2 straight and coming off the bye week, as is most county schools. But now is a comfort sign, and Jackets coach John Lowry is hoping that his tough early season schedule will pay off now. The Jackets are an improved team over last year's edition, but it will not be an easy conference opener come this Friday night. Homecoming night at Marshville this week, and they are hosting Mount Pleasant, who is on a 4-game win streak. Next up, the Weddington Warriors hosting the Anson County Bearcats this week. Weddington is the top-ranked team in Union County right now, and Coach Tim Carson has the Warriors off to their best start in school history, undefeated at 6-0. Last week was their toughest game of the season, Weddington escaping with a 20-17 win over Charlotte Country Day. Junior kicker Keith Duncan kicked the game winner as time expired on the clock to give the Warriors the victory. Their opponent this week, the Anson County Bearcats, are 1-5, but have also played some tough opponents. It's the Southern Carolina Conference opener this Friday night. Now let's send it to Derek Skinner.
It has been a tough season for the Porter Ridge Pirates. The Pirates are 0-6 after losing last week to Independence 42-7. This is the worst start for the team since their inaugural year in 2005. The Pirates do have a shot on Friday night, though, when they host Garinger. The Wildcats are also searching for their first win with an 0-5 record. Their defense has allowed an average of 47.4 points per game, while the offense has only scored 40 points on the entire season. The Pirates hope they can take care of home field advantage and capture win number 1. Next up, Parkwood traveling to West Stanley. The Rebels are 4-2 coming off of the bye week. It's their best start since 2007. Even with a solid record, though, their upcoming games in the Southern Carolina Conference are what counts. Their opponent, the West Stanley Colts, are coming off of a shutout loss to Piedmont last week, 48-0. It was their second straight game being shut out. Last year, Parkwood won the matchup 41-0. That's the report on the Rebels, and now let's go to Shane Green.
The Central Academy Cougars take the short drive down Sunset Drive Friday night to face the Monroe Redhawks. The Cougars are 3-3 and having a good season so far. Last week they had a bye week. 2 weeks ago they held their own but came up short against Piedmont 23-14. First-year coach Scott Smith has his team believing as they head into the conference race. Their opponent will be one of the toughest they face all year. Monroe's coming into the game on a 3-game losing streak, but with legitimate hopes of making a deep run in the conference and playoffs this year. All 3 losses came to larger teams, and the Redhawks were in every game, including their heartbreaking loss 48-47 2 weeks ago to Sun Valley. Coach Johnny Sal plays a tough non-conference schedule with the goal of being battle-ready for conference play. See if the strategy pays off when the Redhawks host the Cougars on Friday night. Now let's head back to the studio and Brian Stevenson.
One more game on the schedule this week as Union Academy takes on Northmore. The Cardinals are coming off of their 54-14 loss to West Montgomery last week. It's now time for our first break on Gridiron State of the Union, and when we come back, it's our roundtable segment as we welcome Union County Athletic Director Doug Jones.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Gridiron State of the Union, brought to you exclusively by DMR Reconstruction. Fire, water, wind, or mold damage, they are your go-to source. And if you're thinking about remodeling, from the tip top of the roof to the bottom of the foundation, they can handle it for you. Windows, doors, paint, floors, vinyl siding, they do it all at DMR Reconstruction. Stop by and visit their showroom on Highway 74 in Marshville, North Carolina. You'll be glad you did. 704-327-4028, 327-4028, and they hope you're enjoying the Gridiron State of the Union, brought to you by DMR Reconstruction.
Welcome back to Gridiron State of the Union. Time now for our roundtable segment, and I'm joined by Doug Jones, the Union County Athletic Director. And Doug, we're finally ready for conference play in football.
Well, it's an exciting time, Brian, and Union County football's done well in the past, and I look forward to seeing a lot of them in postseason play advancing, hopefully to the state championship. So far we've had some great games and great teams. You got Weddington undefeated at 6-0 for the first time in school history. You got improvements at Marvin Ridge. Parkwood's continuing to grow on last year's successful season. Monroe's always loaded with athletes, and we got a lot of things to look forward to in both 2A, 3A.
Absolutely, and of course, like you said, Monroe representing the county well. We've had a team in the state championship for 3 straight years, and certainly wouldn't be surprised to see the Redhawks down in December playing for another championship. You're over the whole county. We all love football, and that's what this show's about. But tell me about Union County athletics. I know we have some terrific stories all across Union County.
Well, yeah, we seem to be well represented by several schools. Weddington won the cross-country boys championship last year. They're seeded number 1 this year in the virtual, and look forward to following them. Marvin Ridge's girls are doing wonderful things. You got a state champion in tennis at Heidi Swope over at Weddington, who's having a great year and looking to repeat as singles champion in tennis. You got Cat at soccer's ranked in the top 10. Weddington's soccer ranked number 1. Marvin Ridge's boys have been ranked all year in soccer. Marvin Ridge in volleyball's done well, and Porter Ridge soccer. We've got a lot of different aspects going on. Cat cross country with Elijah over there, state champion. So we got a lot of sports with a lot of potential, a lot of great athletes in Union County. I'm looking forward to postseason.
In our final moments here, you get the good fortune of being able to support all of these teams. What is it like as you go around the state representing Union County? It has to be pretty gratifying, especially for someone who's grown up and lived here his whole life.
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, when I go and people that know my position, they come over and talk and basically ask, like you, Brian, what's going on in Union County. We hear so much about Union County athletics, and we've just got a bunch of great athletic directors, coaches, and it wouldn't be anything successful without the athletes themselves. But
going to those events and having so many different schools compete, it puts a smile on my face. It makes it fun to go. And, we had 22 teams last year that finished in the top 3 in the state in various sports. And obviously there's nobody that can compete with that. And we're looking forward to doing it again. And Marvin Ridge won the Wells Fargo Cup, which is the best 3A athletic program in the state. And so, it's just great going out and being able to represent Union County and watching our athletes.
Well, we appreciate the job you do representing all of the schools. You always are so supportive of us and everything going on. But Doug Jones, the Union County Athletic Director, our roundtable guest today. Thanks a lot, Doug. And when we come back, it's our Coach's Corner segment, and we'll be talking to the coach of the Cuthbertson Cavaliers, David Johnson, right after this.
This quick break in the action is brought to you by DMR Reconstruction, the exclusive sponsor of the Gridiron State of the Union. One of these days, you're going to want to do home improvement. New windows, new doors. Maybe you got hardwood floors you want to refinish, or you need new carpet or flooring. DMR Reconstruction is your go-to source. They also specialize in fire, water, wind, and mold damage restoration. They'll even help you deal with the insurance companies. Visit the showroom in Marshville, North Carolina, or give them a call at 704-327-4028, 24/7 for emergencies, 327-4028. Let them know you heard about them here on Wixie. And now back to more of the Gridiron State of the Union, brought to you by DMR Reconstruction.
Welcome back to Gridiron State of the Union. Joined now by coach of the Cuthbertson Cavaliers, David Johnson. And Coach, you Cavaliers have had a good season, coming off the bye week at 3-3. How do you assess their performance so far?
Yeah, obviously, last year at this time we were a little bit on the other side. I think we were 2-4 coming off the bye week. So we saw a little bit of growth. We still left a few things out there, we feel, over the last couple of weeks that probably could have led to a couple more wins. But there were some good growing experiences for us. We had a good bye week, got healthy, which was a big thing that every team tries to do this time, and get ready for conference play.
How big was that Forest Hills win? I had the opportunity to see you that night and call that game, and first time in school history you guys got over the hump and beat those guys. How encouraging was that for your men?
For the kids, it was very encouraging. I actually was unaware of that until after the game. I did not know that. But, anytime, you can get a quote-unquote monkey off your back and get into the positive, it was a big win. I think, getting over that mental hurdle of finally beating an opponent that you had never beaten since school was open leads to growth as a team and as a program. And I think we saw that in the following week where we had a pretty good performance against Providence Day and were able to control the game for, from opening whistle to the final whistle, and led into the bye week, and it was a big win for us getting over that hump of finally beating them and starting to move forward.
Coming up, conference schedule starts. Marvin Ridge, a team that has been in tough times lately. It'd be easy to overlook them, wouldn't it? How have you guys prepared for the Mavericks?
Yeah, if you look at the film, there's no overlooking a team like Marvin Ridge. They haven't come out on the winning side yet, but they've been in every game. They've been playing well. It's a few mistakes here, a few mistakes there. They got a young team, and that's what happens. And anytime you have a game, Cuthbertson, Marvin, or any rivalry game, what you did in the past is irrelevant. Everyone's going to be fired up. Everyone's going to be ready to play. And, we are not overlooking Marvin Ridge whatsoever. Coach Hoover's doing a great job. You see him getting better on film. And, they're right on the cusp of turning the corner. So we want to come out there, play a great game, and take care of business.
Thanks to Coach David Johnson for being our Coach's Corner guest this week. It's time now for our UCPreps.com UC Top 3. Coming in at number 3 this week, Parkwood. Number 2, Monroe. And number 1 in the UC Preps UC Top 3, the Weddington Warriors.
Time for extra points.
In my extra points tonight, it's the start of the conference schedule for most teams. A clean slate, if you will. As teams have had a chance to work hard and get better, now the goal of being a conference champion is in front of them. We wish all of our teams in Union County the best of luck in their quest to become conference champions. And with that, we are all out of time. Special thanks to DMR Reconstruction, our title sponsor, and thank you, the listeners, for tuning in each and every week. We have examined the state of our union, and I can report it is good. Good night, everybody.